So I thought I'd give you an update on my recovery journey. For those of you who haven't watched about me before, I've had an eating disorder from when I was 11, and then later on, once I'd kind of got better with my eating, um, it developed into depression and anxiety, and more recently psychosis when I was pregnant with my second child. Um, but I thought I hadn't really spoken much about it since, because actually at the moment I'm in a really good place. But I thought, well, actually, it's good to not just talk through the bad times, but talk about the good times too. As a starter, I'm on really good medication. So I have my antidepressants in the day and then my antipsychotics at night, and they put me to sleep. Um, but I've actually found them really useful alongside complementary therapies, group therapy, and most of all, lots of exercise. So I've actually started a group on Facebook, Mama May's Health Club. So it's a mixture of fitness tips, but also holistic health tips and mental health tips. So basically, it's just a community forum where we all kind of share our worries or our goals, and we try and set them and encourage each other. So I really like it because it's looking not just at the physical side of people's bodies, but it's looking at the mind as well, and I think it's all part of the same thing. And I've been really lucky to be where I am now, because when you're in a really bad place, you don't think recovery is possible. And even down to a few months ago, I got swapped over from my mental health nurses from like the acute team to the less acute. So my visits went down from once or twice a week to once a month. And I remember being really upset about it because I thought I failed in a way. It's like recovery is one of the hardest words because it has so much mixed emotions, especially when you've always had some kind of mental health problem. You don't feel like you want to recover sometimes. You want to have a normal life, but at the same time, you become defined by your illness. So it's quite a scary thing recovering from it and not getting that same support because you get so used to it. But one thing I do realise is that now I'm in a lot more of a better place and I'm content and happy. Things are far from perfect, but compared to where they were, it's incredible. And you can, it's hard to even imagine that I was ever so poorly. I look back at like my Mad Mum's vlog, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was that crazy, and it's quite scary. But at the same time, recovery is scary because I've always been ill with something. So to be at a place where I'm happy and my life's settled and I know where I can do things, I still get bad anxiety. So I like to work from home mostly. And I like to let my husband flourish in his career. I'm much more happy doing my bits of work from home, blogging, vlogging, doing PR, and working with my best friend Daria, who does all the filming, than I am going out and doing what my husband Chris is doing and working all over the country, all over the world, in high pressured kitchens and business. I know I've already tried that way and that doesn't suit my mental health. I need to be contained, I need to have time with my kids at home, time to rest my mind. But I've started to think, well, maybe actually one day I will be able to come off medication and maybe I will completely recover. But I guess I just wanted to talk about this because I think a lot of people are in that difficult situation where, like, I never thought I would recover from any of it. I thought, to be honest, that I would die from my illnesses. So I never even considered recovery. And, like, my mental health nurses were always convinced that recovery is possible, even though it's probably something I'll have to manage throughout my life. I'll be able to have a good life, So I guess this is just the start of my recovery journey, and I have been using great group therapy. I go to like a Christians Against Poverty funded group, which is like a release group for people who've got addictions, and I really love that because you feel like you're at home because everyone has similar backgrounds, or even if they're not the same as yours, nothing ever shocks them about your past or where you're at. I really like the group environment, but at the same time, my recovery journey isn't necessarily the right one for you either. Because some people hate group therapy. Like, I never used to like it, but now actually I find one-on-one counselling too intense. And also, I like to look to the future and not dwell too much on the past because I still find that really difficult. So being a mum now, I know group therapy is good for me because it's not as intense, and because I've got to go home and there's kids and I've got to get on with normal life. At the moment, I can't let myself go to counselling because it's too deep and too dark, and I haven't got that time to get over it because I'm straight back into looking after the kids. So there's a number of different options, and I guess it's just best to try what's best for you. And the one thing that I would say is better than anything is doing exercise. So going to the gym, going to classes. I run everywhere with the buggy. And it just means it gets my endorphins flowing, and it just puts me in such a better mood. And also I feel like I'm doing something positive towards recovery. Whereas I think medication, yes, it really does help me now, but it's something that I'll have to stop one day. I'll have to wean off. But yeah, so I do think now in this frame of mind that recovery is possible, but it is a long journey. And it is also about finding yourself and having new titles and thinking of your life away from mental health problems or addictions. It's all linked together anyway. But at the moment, I really do feel that recovery is possible.